What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So yes, earlier on today, the Senate passed that $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. This now means the Senate can move forward with passing that $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, or what many moderate Democrats are calling a stimulus package. This is actually good news because everything in the $3.5 trillion package is what the American people want to see. The $1.2 trillion package, that is stuff that's going to help out the economy. It's going to boost our economic output. We are going to be so much better off in 5 to 10 years because of what just happened today. However, it's actually in limbo. And I want to explain why that is. We actually have some more good news regarding possible payments coming out to the American people, but we also have some bad news for those that don't want to see a mask mandate, because those are starting to come back. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Hopefully you guys have had an incredible day so far, right? But if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Also consider subscribing so that you never miss an update. Here's what we know. Today, the Senate passed the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill with a vote of 69 to 30, and it passed. However, there were some people in the Senate that said they opposed the bill, and they said no. However, they didn't oppose the entire bill. It's just certain pieces. So, according to reports, more than just the 69 senators actually supported this bill. It's just the way it was voted on and having it, as a whole. That's what caused a few to say no. We also know some Democrats only voted for this because they just wanted to see this pass. They were pretty much saying, let's get it done. Let's get this pushed to the side, and then let's work on that $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, which some are calling a stimulus package. Now, here's what I can tell you. What we are seeing right now is that many moderates are pushing back on this bill. We know moderates are now looking more and more likely to vote against the $3.5 trillion stimulus package as it stands. Yes, I call this a stimulus package because that is what they're calling it. Many moderates are calling this stimulus, not infrastructure. And this is one of the reasons why they do not believe this should pass, because they are saying we already had stimulus. We already had, more than enough stimulus packages to go around. So we do not need any more. We had one over a year ago under former President Donald Trump. We had one right after Christmas, right before the new year. This was again under former President Donald Trump. Then we had a third stimulus package. Now we had more in between there, but we had a third main stimulus package that also was a $1.9 trillion package. And this one was passed under current administration, President Biden. And so right now, some are saying we don't need another stimulus package. We don't need a fourth stimulus check. We don't need more rental assistance and mortgage assistance. We don't need additional assistance for child care and elder care. We don't need that. Free community college for what? Expanding the Medicare program? Why? Right? This is what many are asking. What is the purpose behind this? Well, here's what I can tell you right now. Moderates in the Senate won't support a $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, or what they're calling stimulus, because they say it's going to just increase the federal deficit. This will cause an increase in taxes, and it will overall, the size of this bill is not something they can support. But keep in mind, the provisions within the bill are not being argued. That's not what's essentially being argued by moderates in the Senate. They're not arguing over Medicare. They're just asking why. They're not arguing over free community college. They just want to know what for, the purpose behind it. They are not arguing over child care and elder care and possibly extending the child tax credit payments. They're not arguing over those yet. They're just asking for more information. What they are opposing is the size of the bill. $3.5 trillion is a substantial amount of money. That's a lot of money. Hey, that's a huge amount of money for one bill, especially when they're calling it, when I say they, I'm talking about Democrats. Democrats are calling this a social infrastructure bill. It's technically stimulus. and Republicans are saying, well, why do we need to pass a $3.5 trillion social infrastructure bill when we just passed today a $1.2 trillion hard infrastructure bill? Something that is going to help out the economy, help out the American people, provide more jobs. Granted, it may be 5 to 10 years down the line, but it is going to help. So, remember earlier today, okay, and I've been saying this over the past few days, is that passing the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, this is important. However, it's not something that is going to change our lives today. It's just not. Here's the reason why. Nancy Pelosi and House progressives, they are going to tie the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill with the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill or stimulus package. They want to tie these together for one main reason. They are saying by not voting on the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill yet, it will require moderate Democrats to come forward, and they will be forced to listen to what Democrats, mainly progressives, have to say. This means they will have to listen to all sides, and this means they will have to agree to listen to progressive priorities. Whether they ultimately vote on this, they pass these priorities, that's unknown. But at this time, what we're hearing is that moderates, they don't like the progressive priorities. It's too far over. They don't support it, but they would support something with a little bit less. Maybe not a 4-year child tax credit payment extension. Maybe not including, the age requirement from 65 down to 60 with Medicare, along with vision, dental, and hearing. They don't want to include all of that. Okay? So this is kind of where we're seeing things progress. And again, the progressive priorities at this point is what is providing more to the middle class people. And this is from multiple reports. Even Senator Schumer, even Senator Sanders, and Senator Elizabeth Warren all stated that yes, the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, aka stimulus, this is going to provide more for the middle class. We know that Bernie Sanders stated that he wants to provide a larger tax break to all Americans. Senator Chuck Schumer, he stated that this will be the largest tax break in decades, and he wants to pay for this by taxing the wealthy, which has a lot of support. And the tax increases that we see going to the wealthy, right? These aren't tax breaks. They're going to have to pay more in taxes. The wealthier will. Well, this is what's getting pushed back from many moderate Democrats. And what I can tell you is that in the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill or stimulus package, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to use both because I'm trying to cater to both sides. It is technically stimulus, but they are calling it social infrastructure. So, it is kind of what they're putting out there. So I'm going to continue to call it both. Hopefully I don't confuse you. What we do know, though, is that moderates, they want to see more spent on stuff that has bipartisan support. Now, we know that the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill is not going to get any bipartisan support. We will not see one Republican vote for this. However, what moderates want, again, and this is where things get very interesting, is moderates understand, and I think everybody in Congress understands this, that no Republican's going to vote in favor of this. But it doesn't mean we can't get Republicans on board with certain provisions. That's what moderates want. Moderates want to see, moderate Democrats really want to see that some Republicans are on board with the extension of the child tax credit payments. It's going to be $250, $300 per month for X amount of years. Well, how many years are acceptable to Republicans? Is it 4 years? If it's not, could they agree on possibly 2, settle in the middle? Maybe not, and it's just one more additional year. But this is what some are saying is, let's get bipartisan support first. And what we can't get bipartisan support on, then we will push the rest in and we will pass it like that. And we will do it through a budget reconciliation. But that's not what Democrats want. That's not what progressives want. Progressives say, let's slam this bill through. Let's get it done. Let's get it passed. Let's get the American people the assistance they need. But we will see. Regarding the stimulus checks, regarding additional payments or cash payments, cash advances, whatever you want to call it, there are more lawmakers that are planning additional assistance. Some say it's going to be stimulus checks. Others say these are going to be large tax breaks. That's essentially what Senator Schumer has stated as well. We're going to see the largest tax break in decades go to the middle class. That's great. But here's something else. We are going to see the largest tax break in decades go to the middle class. That's great for the middle class. We're going to see tax increases go to the high income earners, people making over $400,000 per year. Well, again, that's great for the middle class. But what about the lower income earners? What about people on Social Security? What about those that are making a minimum wage? What about those that have a large family, cannot support that family because they don't make enough? Okay, all their money is getting taken by bills, taxes, right? Paying for the essentials, just little things like that. And lawmakers are saying we need to provide more for the low income earners as well. Well, according to multiple reports, we are going to see a flurry of additional proposals very soon. I'm expecting this week we're going to get some, and I'm also expecting next week is going to be a pivotal week for these. And the reason I say next week is because lawmakers are going to have some time to go over the numbers, look into different ideas, throw around these different ideas with other members and potentially propose something. But again, the Senate, they're still in Washington right now. The House, they're gone. They're not voting on anything. So just keep in mind that even though we're going to see more proposals, more ideas, we're not going to see anything come from it for at least another month and a half. So just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to stimulus checks, and the reason why I want to bring up this update, okay, because a lot of people are asking for updates regarding checks. And I've been telling you guys for a while, the fourth stimulus check, there may be a fourth stimulus check in the same sense that we received the last ones, right? Direct deposits, just money right to your bank account. But according to multiple experts, the fourth stimulus check is actually going to be more of a tax credit. It could potentially be a guaranteed income program to the lower income earners. It could be, it's just different forms, just different things. It could be an increase to one of the benefit programs, maybe SNAP benefits. Right? It could be an increase there. We don't know. So this is what some are saying, is that we are going to see different proposals, different ideas. But the point of some of these proposals is not just to strengthen the infrastructure program and strengthen social infrastructure, their different provisions, but it's also to provide more to the American people. Just keep this in mind. President Biden was proposing a roughly $1.7, $1.9 trillion social infrastructure bill, and it ballooned up over twice that to $3.5 trillion. And even though it ballooned up, the priorities and the different provisions, the legislation inside that bill or this framework is essentially the same thing. It's just some of the money has increased. Well, what you need to keep in mind is there's still a lot of money sitting aside doing nothing. We know where the committees are, where the money's going to go and what committees, but as far as exactly how much and to cover what, this is what's in question. This is what the committees are going to be tasked with over the next month. Again, the committees in the Senate are supposed to come back. They're supposed to come back on September, or at least submit their proposals, their legislation by September 15th. So we're going to see what happens, but it's going to be an exciting month. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next, it's about month and 5 days. So as we know more, I promise I will share more. But let me get into the COVID news for today. We are seeing a lot of changes, okay? Whether this is good or bad really depends on the stance that you take. Now, there are many states that are planning on doing mask mandates. Oregon is announcing a new public indoor mask mandate. This is going to happen tomorrow. Their governor is going to come out tomorrow and announce this. In Kentucky, they will be mandating masks for schools and child care centers. Many other states are calling on their governors to reimpose a mask mandate for public places. This means grocery stores, retail stores, the movie theaters, gyms. And I know a lot of people are upset by this, but according to health experts, this is the step that we have to take in order to get back to where we once were. We're already seeing COVID cases increase and surge, and we can't afford this anymore. the states of Florida and Texas. These are two of the states, or pretty much the two main states, that have been pushing back against mask mandates, vaccines, and so forth. Well, the states of Florida and Texas have issued bans on mask mandates, but a judge told Texas Governor Greg Abbott that his ban on mandates is not legal. And so, this is going to allow schools to now require mask mandates moving forward. Some say this is actually a good thing. Well, even one report, they talked to one lawmaker that said they don't support the mask mandate, but they do support masks in school, especially for school-age children that cannot yet get a vaccine. So, it's kind of contradicting, but that is again, I don't know. I don't know what to say there other than the fact that it's politics. It's just politics right now. And in the state of Florida, school districts are moving forward with mask mandates, even though Governor DeSantis says mandates are banned in his state. But that doesn't mean they're going to stop. School districts are going to do what they have to do to try to keep their children and their community safe. And in Los Angeles County, the largest county in the United States, bigger than many countries, they have plans in the works as of today to provide proof of vaccinations for all indoor public spaces. This includes gyms, movie theaters, restaurants. It doesn't matter, okay? Doesn't matter. An office building, if it's a public place, you will have to require proof of vaccination or show proof of vaccination. This is going to be difficult to some people. However, again, health experts say this is what we must succumb to if we want to get out of this pandemic. However, those same health experts are saying we are not even close to being out of this pandemic. It is just beginning. They're saying we are closer to the beginning of this pandemic than the end, which is a huge, it brings morale down. It's just disheartening. It's tough to hear. But again, that is what we are hearing as of today. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I want to provide you with a full update on what is going on, what we're hearing, and what we could potentially see over the next few days. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.